Hey everybody, welcome to Ellis Mowers. I appreciate y'all watching. As always, I got my website, ellismowers.com. You can find my email, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all right there. Got links in the description below as well for those. If you have any questions or want to reach out with any mower issue I might can help you out with, feel free to. I will do my best to get back with you. This one's mine. I'll tell you a quick story about it. It's a DLT3000 Craftsman. So I sold a rally push mower that y'all saw on the channel. It's a 22-inch side discharge to a woman, and she had a riding mower but didn't have the time, or didn't have the money to get it fixed at that point. She ended up finding money to get it fixed, and we were able to get it fixed for her for pretty cheap. And so as partial payment, she let me have that push mower back. Took that rally push mower, put it back on for sale on Marketplace. Guy that came a while back, and I helped him put his self-propel belt. He originally was going to come buy a push mower, but he brought his old one, and I told him that I could put the self-propel belt back on it for him. Sorry. And I was able to do that, and things still running fine. He said, I don't think it's priming like it should. Anyways, he reached out to me and said, need a push mower. He ended up needing it for his son. I got this DLT3000, and he gave me a list of issues that it had been having. And would you want to trade? And I'm like, you want to do an even trade? He said, I don't know, like, based on what you described, if I'm gonna have to put deck spindles and stuff all on it. So he said even trade was fine, which was great. So it's kind of like what goes around comes around. Help him save a little bit of money here, a little bit of money there, and end up with something nice like this. It's super nice. He even like had it clean and everything for me. It's great. So let's give a look at this DLT3000. First DLT I've ever had, which is kind of cool, and we'll see what we end up needing to do to it. I don't think it's going to be much. I hope not, but we shall see. Alright, let me give you all a walk around here. Like I said, things super clean already. I'll probably clean it up just a little bit better for show purposes whenever I go to sell it. 18.5 horsepower. This guy bought it brand new back in 2005, which is kind of cool. Intech Plus. So it's got the oil filter and all that good stuff on it. Let's check the air filter. I'm sure the oil is probably in decent shape. It is. Probably just need to add a little bit to it. First thing I noticed off the bat were the battery terminals were a little bit loose. He did say that he had to jump it off every time that he used it. And then he said the last time he went to use it, I mean, look at even the air filter's not that bad. I could probably beat the air filter out and be fine there. Gosh, it's not hardly even dirty at all. But like I said, probably just have to beat it out a little bit and we'll be good. He said that it would start and run, but the last time he ran it, he saw it started smoking or something like that, and I don't know if he meant electrical smoke or engine smoke, because he said it stopped running on him. So I have to check. Have some loose battery cables and terminals, but one thing I want to check is the fuse as well. The battery's only got 8 bolts in it, so it's not going to start either way. I might need 2 hands for the fuse, so just give me just a hot sec. I have a suspicion that this fuse is blown, and this may be the only thing wrong with it. Also, he said that he's got some, got to put a deck belt on it. The deck belt's about shot. Come on, little fuse. Maybe we'll get some pliers. All right, let's see some pliers here. You battery I can find. I just gotta get something to pull it out of there. Fuse looks good. You can see, we'll test it here in just a second. I'll put my multimeter back up. I'll test the fuse in just a second here. Those terminals are tight. Nothing looks burnt right there. So what I think I'm going to do, I'll put the fuse back in. First is, I don't want to jump it off again. I'll put another battery in it and see what we got with it, and then we'll continue on there. Let's check the deck while we're here. One other thing, he said the steering wheel keeps coming loose on him, so I may just need to tighten that down a little bit more. I've already checked, so the blades are okay. They will need a little, just an edge put back on them, but they move freely. I think I'm going to have to take the deck off and grind down the rust or the grooves in the tensioner, like I seem like I always have to do. That tensioner's good. That tensioner's good. So it kind of makes me wonder if it just needs a deck belt. And he got in the tall grass and it ended up stopping, but I don't know, like, engine wise, if there's something going on inside it or whatnot. It's got the big fuel tank in the back and all that good stuff. So let me put a battery in it. Like I said, it only has 8 volts on it, and we're just gonna see what this thing will do. All right, guys, put a battery in it, so let's see what'll happen here. Hopefully it'll turn over. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Might have a compression release failure here, y'all. Let me make sure that make sure the battery voltage is good. I hope the comp release hasn't gone on this thing. No, I've just got low battery voltage. It's a brand new battery. It only got 12.2 volts in it that I had in a different lawnmower. So let me get the charger out and we'll jump it off. That should be our issue. All right, y'all, let's see if we can get it going here with the battery charger hooked up. Give it a run for the money here. Uh-oh. Yeah, I don't know. It should crank over with that. Well, absolute worst case, we put a compression release in it. I have one here, so it'd just be a morning project. So I might let this thing sit for a few minutes just charging See if I can get enough voltage in it to see if we can get it to turn around and turn over and crank for us. If not, oh well. I mean, I trust that everything works. We got a deck built that we got to fix, and see the drive built. See how it is. Drive belt's okay. Yeah. I'm almost certain we got a compression release issue. That kind of stinks. Oh well. It ain't like I made a bad deal. I've pretty much got $0 into this thing. So, like I said, we'll let it charge and see what we end up with. If we can get enough charge on it to get it to turn over. If not, then we'll tear into this bad boy. See what we can do with it. Be totally worth putting a compression release on, though. I ain't worried about that project. Just did one a couple weeks ago. So on that Murray that's kind of sitting back there. So yeah, hot dog. Alright guys, so I had this sitting overnight with silicone on it because the back of the part of the seat was coming off. That's pretty common with these newer Craftsman seats from AYP mowers. So let me get y'all on the tripod, and I'll take that off and I'll show you that I've fixed that. I just let it sit overnight with that silicone on it. And that'll form back eventually. Maybe get it out in the heat some or something. But the next order of business I'm going to do is go ahead and tear this engine apart and see if I can get the compression release fixed on it. I'm about 99% sure that's what's wrong with this thing. So it's just a matter of getting that fixed, and then we'll put a deck belt on it and probably fix the deck, because I think I maybe have an issue with that. Check the blades on it, see if we need to do anything with that, and then we will we'll be all done, hopefully, with this. So let me go ahead and get the oil drained out of it and the oil filter. Well, I'll get the oil drained out of it, and then we'll take the engine off. So I think since we're going to have to do a little work to the deck anyways, I want to take the deck off of it also, because we need to put a return spring and all that mess on it like I always have to. Probably going to have to line up the deck too. I think it's a little bit out of alignment. Let me show you what I've got to do to get the deck off. So I've got to take off this clip and this clip. That'll get your front ones off, and then you'll slide your arms around and just kind of let them mate to the front of the deck, and that'll be able to slide it off pretty easily. Let me hit this button and so we can get it lower so that I can show you all better. So on the left side, you have a mount in the rear here, which is right there. You pull that clip out, pull that arm off. And then on the left rear here, you've got the clip right here you take off. And then on the right side, you only have that one clip. You don't have that back arm. So you have that one clip right here that you take off. And then you have this R clip for the spring, tensioner spring cable, or tensioner cable. You just pull that out of the eyelet. And then you come over here. I don't think you can see it very well, but you've got another R clip back here on this top of this pulley that you pull out to take it off. Take the spring off. My arm is right in the way, but you take that clip off, you take the spring off, and you get the spring out of the way. Usually I like to kind of hook it onto the deck adjustment right there, And then there's a little washer that you don't want to lose too, that goes under that spring. And then you just pull these clips off here. But you might need a screwdriver or pliers, and so I'm going to do those off camera and get us to the point where we're going to pull the deck out next. Alright y'all, we're at the point of taking the deck off. So, got my arms here that I see, you see I've got them folded down. I've got the spring out of the way, and then I got my clips off, and I got my arms and stuff off here. Raise the deck all the way up so the height adjusters are out of the way. Now what I'm going to do is not get caught on my electronics cart, but I'm going to push the deck just a little bit forward, and I'm going to take the belt off of the main pulley here. Alright, so we got it off, and it's just going to slide out now. So let me get y'all a little bit further because I'll need the real estate here. So that's that. So as you can see, it's missing the return spring. I don't know how the rest of it looks, if it's yeah. So return spring is supposed to go right there. I don't know if you can see that where you're at. It's supposed to go right there and attach right over here. We can go ahead and take this belt off because it's old and crusty. Got a new belt to put on this thing as it is, so we'll be in good shape there too. All the pulleys are turning, so that's good. That belt is done, so we won't worry about that. But you can see that we've got a little bit of groove. A little bit of groove starting right here for where the pins go for the engagement. So you can see the dust come off it too. All I gotta do is get a 9 or a 1/2 inch, pull this off right here, and the whole conglomerate comes off. So let me grab what I need for that and see what happens. Check out the grooves and all that good stuff, so that we can take this thing off. Alright y'all, this is pretty easy to do. So it's a 9/16, but there's like it's one of them square-headed bolts. So you just put your finger down there and keep the head on, and then you can pull the bolt out if you want to. Kind of get it out of the way. But if you're doing this for the first time, you don't do this very much. Take note of the order that these go in. You have your pulley, a little washer, that's your pivot washer, and then you have your tensioner pulley, and then a small washer. And what I usually do is grab a drill and I grind down, just kind of smooth out this right here a little bit. And what I also want to do is, you see these grooves that are starting to line up right here, kind of indent, and right there. I'm just going to take an angle grinder to them on the vise and just kind of grind them down a little bit. I'll be right back. So take a look at what it looks like before, and I'll show you what it looks like after here in just a second. Alright guys, I'm back. Let me show you the bracket now that I've taking the grooves out. You can see where I grinded them out on that side and that side. So now remember how we put it back on. I'm going to put a little bit of PE Blaster just so that we can have a decent mating surface here. So we have this big washer, followed by this arm, followed by the spacer washer, and then followed by pulley, now we pull the bolt up through here. Alright. And your pulley kind of goes right about there or so. Put this back on. Okay, now that's how easy it should be to do that. And then put your deck return spring that we're missing here on it. See how easy that goes forward and back just like that? That's the way it should be. So during this time I've had the oil draining on the mower. So we're going to kind of leave this aside for a moment. And we are then going to go ahead and take the engine off of this thing because we've got to put a compression release in it. So we've got to do it sometime. So we got the deck fixed. Again, I might have to put some blades and stuff on it. That's tons of videos on that. I won't spare the time in this video since we're going to do the compression release. Alright y'all, so to start with the engine, we've got to do a few things here, like take the starter off, unplug the stator, which we're doing right now. We don't have to take the starter off, we have to take the stator off, or unplug that stator wire. Stator, starter. And since this is a fuel pump engine, we'll have to do a little bit more to it. But starter first. 7/16, just kind of give it a nice little pull like that. Usually we'll make sure your key switch is off too. As long as your key switch is off, you're not getting any voltage to the starter, and you're okay. So we've got the starter off, or the starter nut off. Next order of business, we're going to take off the let's see, we want to take the engine cover off next. We got to take off, since this is a gravity fed, not a pump fed, we got to take the fuel pump off and stuff over here. So next we'll take off the fuel lines and stuff. Let me grab the tools I need for that and I'll be right back. Alright, so let's do the next step here. I think they're T40s in the front. You got to take those off in order to get T40s. No, they're T45s. Get these front bolts off. You don't have to pull them all the way because they have slots in them. But now we'll take our 3/8 and loosen the two back ones. Might be easier to get the fuel pump off first. Or, let's see, how does this attach to this? So it's attached to this bracket. Oh, I see, it's attached on attached onto that. So maybe what we can do is just move the fuel lines out. We'll see. Just get the fuel lines out of the way here. Take them off at the fuel pump itself. Come on. They're so weird because they're on in a weird way to where you can't really get them. There we go. Take that off. The one in the back off. Okay. And actually that should be the only two. But the other one goes to the vent tube on the oil dipstick. So let me get a 3/8 down there. We'll loosen it up a little bit. Ugh. A little bit of a process. I think this fuel pump is actually attached. Darn, I hope not. That's going to complicate things trying to get this cover off. That kind of stinks. Alright, so I've got to take this bolt completely off in order to get this cover off. So I'll do that off camera real quick and then we'll have the cover off. It's just going to slide right up after I do that. And then we'll take off the, I guess we'll take the carburetor off. We'll take this line off here for the anti-backfire. We have to take a ground off and a couple other things, but these back bolts are always the worst to access. Yeah. I gotta take this one completely off. There we go. This should slide up now, hopefully. There's no reason why it shouldn't, unless it's clipped on down here somewhere. Yeah, I guess it is. Oh, I see. There we go. So this little bolt right here, that bolt right there was kind of impeding on it. So let me take this off of the dipstick. Okay, cover's off. I don't even know what the air filter looks like on this thing, honestly. Oh, I think I looked already. I think we looked in the beginning of the video, but it's in pretty good shape. Just a little bit of dirt in there, but nothing crazy. We can clean it out. I remember we looked into this now. Silly, silly. So, get that back down in there. Just kind of take that and move it out of the way for now. And now what we're going to do is take this off. So, got a 5/16 and a 3/8. And what that'll afford us is being able to take all the linkages and stuff off of the carburetor, pull the choke up through here, and that gives you better access. We'll move the choke arm out of the way, and we'll pull the carb off. Okay? So that's out of the way. Here's that 5/16 I was talking about that we got to get off. That's just, we got that, get that out of the way as well. And so, and the throttle here. So this throttle's on by like a T20 or something like that. Maybe a T15, I'm not sure. Bigger than that. It was a T20. I should have just went with what I said originally. Would have been better. Don't impact it back on, but to get it off, we can at least do that. Throttle cable, we'll just put this back on just a little bit, that way we don't lose it. Alright, so now we should have everything out of the way. That way we can just pull this engine up. We could try and take the exhaust off. Sometimes I'll leave the exhaust on. It just kind of depends on the day. Those exhaust bolts can get a little bit rattly and taxing, but especially that one on the bottom down there. Don't know if you're able to access that very well. But I do have these impacts now, so it would make it a little bit lighter to get off if I was able to just take that off and leave it here as well. So we might try that. The retaining bracket on the bottom of the valve cover. And they have like a T40 or something like that here. No, it's a T45 again. No, it's a 40. Get it one day. See if we can get this in both sides here. Nope, that's not the right one, I guess. Oh, it's a square, that's why. It's an Allen. Let me grab the Allen and I'll get those off. It's not a star bit, silly. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I got the exhaust off. They were 1/4-inch Allens. Some of these are star bits. I think the MTDs are stars. And so we are going to we put that on already. Took that off. I moved it up and out of the way. I still have the spark plug on. You can take the spark plug off if you want to, but you look under here and you got a bunch of 5/8 and it may be 9/16, but you got your 5/8 that you're going to take off here, and then you've got 4 bolts, 1, 2 on one side and 3, 4 on the other. Make sure that your drive belt's out of the way with your parking brake down, so that you can get off the drive pulley there for your drive belt. We've already taken the deck off of it, so that's easy enough. And then we'll be at the point where we can pull this engine. So let me go ahead and get to that point, and I'll pull the engine and we'll look inside it. All right, y'all, here's what we're gonna do. We got the 4 bolts off. We should just be able to pick this thing up. I'm just gonna place it on my little electronics table and just do all the work right here. I think I'm going to pull the dipstick. A lot of times that gets in the way. So let's see. What do I have here? Oh. I've got the wire still hooked on to the clip down here. So the ground wire, pull that, thread it through, and then that gray wire for the gray wire, excuse me, that all I did off camera there is pulled the ground wire off for the coil, laid it over there. There's a gray wire, and I'm attached to another ground wire that goes to that backfire solenoid. Had to slide it off. I just had to pull it forward and slide it off that little bracket there that's on the pins. So now we'll take this thing off. Place it on here. Turn her upside down. And I guess we'll go ahead and get to work. I mean, well, we've got a bunch of 1/2 inches that we need to take off. Let it sit. Let it sit like that, I suppose. It's not the most secure, but got your 3 5/16 to take your little oil pump off. So we'll do that. 1, 2, 3. And then that should just pop right off. Expose your oil pump, and this is a little star looking thing. You can usually just pull it out if you got it in there properly, but we're going to leave it in for right now. And now I'm just going to get a bunch of 1/2 inch and just slowly pull these out. They've got a little bit of Loctite on them, so you have to be kind of careful. I'll do that next. I gotta get a zero turn in here and take pictures of it before it starts raining outside. All right, y'all, so I've gotten all the bolts out that were holding the sump down. I'm just gonna hit, we're not gonna reuse this oil filter, so I'm just gonna, that was pretty pitiful. Use it as leverage to get this off. There we go, that was easy. Somebody's been inside the valve cover before too, because it has been placed upside down. So, alright, so let me get that out of the way. I have to tighten that up a little bit. But like I said, we're going to put a new oil filter on it anyways. And we're going to be what we are probably going to be as expected. Take the governor off. We will get this back to its home base. Alright, so that's the home base. We've got it where the dots are lined up, so this should just thing should just come right out now. There we go. And interesting. So that looks like it's working. And the lobes look good. But I have one that I have had compression releases that have broken before and not done that, so could have just been a valve adjustment. It kind of sucks if it would have been, but we'll get there. Either way, it was pretty hard starting, as y'all could see, and a valve adjustment wouldn't be that difficult for it to start. I'm fairly certain. So we've gotten that out. It's not broken, so the good thing is I don't have to do any fishing or anything down there. We just got to put another gasket on. We got to just peel this gasket off and put another gasket on before we put the oil pump or the sump back on. So that's the most time consuming thing. I'll go ahead and do that off camera. Y'all kind of seen me do that a few times already. And then we'll put everything back on. I'll get the new camshaft and stuff. I'll put that back in, and then we'll just kind of go from there. Alright, y'all, let's get this thing back on now. Remember, I've got the lifters and all that stuff in here for it. I have a lifter. Where is the second one at? Oh, it's in there. I'll put the lifters in. I had the push rods come out on me, so I don't know if I'll have to take the valve cover off and get all that situated. I think I am, unfortunately, so let me do that real quick. Okay, so, oh yeah, I got it wedged in there. All right, and number 2. It's like wedged down in there now. I gotta get it out. Hold on. There we go. Alright. Man, so I'm holding the valve while I'm pushing the push rod back, or pushing the pushing the lifter back. We got that on now. So now let's take the new camshaft. It's got a different compression release. I think I like these a little bit better. It seems like they work a little bit better. I don't know what was going on with that one, but may have not been anything, but we're gonna either way, it's gonna have a new camshaft in it, which is gonna be awesome for the new owner. Like I said, I have seen them fail and them be good like that, be, you know, not have enough or have too much resistance and it comes out. So now we'll go ahead and get the gasket on. I've already got the gasket cleaned off here, so we'll get the new gasket on and see what we can manage with this. Okay, so with the sump cover here, I have taken off all of the oil pump mechanisms, and we're going to slide this on. And it goes on this way. Make sure you put your governor on correctly. And we're just going to slide this back on if it wants to go. Got a storm going on outside, so I had to close the garage door. Alright, there we go. Now we just need to make sure all of the gasket holes fall in place with the gasket. I think we're going to be okay. I'll kind of hold that a little bit so that it falls in the right spot. Okay. Alright, I can see through all the holes, which is good. Alright, it's on all sides, which is awesome. Now what we're going to do, put the oil pump shaft back in. Put the star back in, and now I've got to find the actual little pump. I don't know what I did with it. It's in this conglomeration of mess somewhere, the little star bit. Here it is. There's a little slot that slides into, where that's supposed to slide into. Well, that's supposed to slide in. Maybe not supposed to. Maybe it's not supposed to slide in. Maybe that's the way it's supposed to go. That's the way it's supposed to go. I'm a dummy. There we go. I'm a dummy. Pardon me. There. Silly. The little shaft end is supposed to go down. I don't know how well y'all can see that, but now I'm putting this, now I'm putting all the bolts back on. 3 5/16. Excuse me, my gosh. And now it's a ton of halves. So let me get those, I'll start threading those in. And okay, you torque them to about 20 foot-pounds is where they need to be. Doesn't look like it's still down all the way, which is funny. That's weird. It's acting like it's not in all the way. Maybe the bolts will pull it in. We'll see. Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, the bolts pulled it in, so we'll don't want to get it all the way in yet because I want to get these threaded in. So we'll go ahead and run these in some. I've got this impact on a pretty low setting, so now I'm just going to take the torque wrench and torque them all down to 20 foot-pounds, and then we'll put them back on the mower. Okay, so y'all can join me when I get it back on the mower. All right, guys, you know sometimes where you just start cruising and getting things together, and then just trying to get it done and not really want to film it. Well, that's kind of the case with this. Reason being, there's nothing that y'all have not seen on the channel that I did. I feel like I've done many compression releases and stuff, but y'all saw me grind off the stuff for the deck. Y'all saw me replace the camshaft and compression release, and that's pretty much, I just pretty much put everything back together. I showed y'all the hard part of taking it back off. So here it is back together. Turned out super nice. Had to put some ATF in, I think, the left rear tire. And then I think I showed y'all I put silicone on the back seat here. because it was starting to come off a little bit, and that looks a lot better now. Sat here for a couple days, no leaks from what I can tell, no smoke. So let me crank it up and I'll show you that it runs and all that good stuff. It's good. Taking for a loop up and down the road here, or driveway. These hydros. I've already cleaned off most of the driveway. That's it. The blades are a little lazy to disengage, but alright, so that's that. So, like I said, we got this thing done, thankfully. Ended up turning out to be a really nice lawnmower, which is awesome. So, we, remember, we originally got this mower on trade. I don't know if I gave y'all the story on this or a weekend vlog video, but we got this on trade. I pretty much have, I really don't have any money in it except for a $40 camshaft, because I did a push mower for a ride mower because the guy's son needed a push mower, and he had an extra riding mower because this one kind of was acting up on him. I think the valves were just really out of line. I don't think it needed a camshaft, but I've seen camshafts go bad whenever they have, you know, still have the compression release on them. Just kind of, it's kind of weird, but I had one aftermarket one that did that. So we did the camshaft and everything associated with that. We kind of made the deck a little bit better to where it's a little bit easier to engage and disengage the blades, and they're working well. We have, it needed a new deck belt, it got a new deck belt, and we also have, what else have we done? Had to change out the battery was bad, but the other battery I was able to charge up and put in another mower, so that was good. Sharpened the blades, cleaned out from under the deck, and it's good to go. So somebody reached out and they were looking for one for them and one for their daughter and have a trade for me. So I've got this one ready. I told them $650. I'd take $150 off if they trade to me their Troy built, and so that's what we're going to get. For that, the number 2 you'll probably see on the channel pretty soon. I don't know if you'll be able to can see that green LT1000. That'll be the second one that I get ready for them, and they'll have 2 nice Craftsman lawnmowers. This DLT3000 is pretty nice. It's kind of what the Briggs & Stratton version of the LT2000. LT2000 is my favorite because it's got that 17 horsepower Kohler on it, and that's a super good engine. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video. It seems like we've got another good Craftsman lawn tractor, and we just keep cranking them out, y'all. I don't know how many I've cranked out this year, but we're definitely in the 20s. We're getting close to 30, so that's just me doing it on the side. Again, if you can find one that looks like this and can get it fixed, then you're going to have a heck of a nice mower for a long time if you just fix the small things that come up with the deck and potentially compression release. So thank y'all again for watching. Again, my website's ellismowers.com. Sorry I didn't show y'all the reassembly process. Yesterday I just kind of got out here and went to town because I knew that I had to get things done. I had a lot to do yesterday. And I'm learning in this business that you're never caught up, no matter how much you think you are. Thank you again for watching, and I appreciate it as always, and we'll see you on the next video. Catch you then.